Hey, YouTube.
Hey guys.
Welcome back to the Relation Station with Robin.
Hey, what's happening?
Thank you guys so much for joining in with us and hope you enjoyed our previous videos. And so today we want to kind of just have another little discussion with you guys. But before we get into our discussion, as always, make sure you subscribe to the page. Become a Relation Station family member.
Yes. Hit that subscription
Come on,
button.
family. Come on in. All right. Hit that subscription. Make sure you like, comment on our videos so that we can know if this is something you guys like or not. Right?
True.
All right, so as we're enjoying this beautiful evening.
Yes, we outside.
Outside.
Yes.
Right.
We're in a different location.
Right. We just want to chop it up a bit about a topic that Rob and I had kind of talked about before with each other, and that is vulnerability. That is our word for the day. Vulnerability. Vulnerability. All right. How that sound? Vulnerability. All right, y'all. So I'm going to give y'all a definition. Forgive me, I'm going to have to look at my notes because I did not remember it verbatim. All right, so vulnerability is the quality of being easily hurt or attacked, feeling unsafe, giving your heart and giving the power to hurt you and hope that you don't. So giving your heart to someone that has the power to hurt you, but you hope that they don't. That's what they're saying vulnerability is. That's what Google is telling me vulnerability is, right? So that can go in any relationship, right? Not just a marriage, in a friendship. It can go in a family, in any type of family relationships, right? When you are vulnerable, you are giving your heart or your most sacred things to this person and hoping that they don't take it and try to ram you with it. You know what I'm saying? Like now or later. Right. Because when you're vulnerable, it's like you just kind of opening yourself up in those places that you kind of keep sacred to yourself. Like, if I feel some kind of way, this is my little secret place, and I do that by myself. But I'm going to share that with Rob because he's my husband and I trust him that he is not going to take my vulnerability and use it against me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so that is, that's like, that's such a powerful, a powerful thing. Yes, that you give to a person. So it's so important that you trust, which does probably lead us into another discussion, that you trust your partner enough to be vulnerable with them. That means opening yourself up and giving of those places that are sacred and held tight. That little box that's sitting in the back, that little Pandora box that you keep in there, got the lock and key on it. Yeah. That's that vulnerable place, right?
Letting your guard down.
Ooh.
Yeah, letting your guard down, and especially in a relationship, and when you coming in, you trying to feel each other out, you trying to know one another, and as you get closer in the relationship, you want to express things to them. You want to get so they'll get to know you more. And some of them things you gotta let that guard down a little bit. Like that's what we do. We let it down a little bit at a time, Because like you said, we don't want to get hurt. We don't want the person to, because now we wide open.
Right.
Now you know my my secrets.
Ooh, and how about my insecurities?
My insecurities. And now, say an argument come up.
And here it come. See,
that
ain't safe. That ain't safe. Yeah, that's that place that you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. You give that power to that person and hope that they don't hurt you with it. That is very serious.
But you gotta build that trust first. The trust factor.
The trust comes first.
You gotta have that trust factor.
Right.
Yes. And then one thing too, you gotta know, you gotta be comfortable in yourself. You gotta know yourself coming into that relationship. That you gotta know, like, I'm comfortable in my skin.
Right.
Things I may have done in the past. Yeah, that was in the past.
Listen.
I'm not bringing this now. I'm not bringing it here. Yeah, I tell you, I did some things you don't need to tell. Probably you don't need to be telling all your mess. But some of the things that you may want to share, and not just blatting out like, yeah, I done slept with 7 dudes or 15 women or whatever. No, dudes don't want it. Guys don't want to hear it.
Right.
And y'all
Right.
women don't want to hear it.
Listen.
Some things you don't.
Ladies,
you don't want to get out.
Please stop giving all that business
Yes,
to
you don't
your
have
man. He does not need to know, even if he asks. I'm sorry, that was just a sidebar. Because I done had that story before. Even if he asks.
Yeah, we really don't want.
I don't know.
Yeah, you don't.
I'm not sure. I don't recall.
You don't want to know.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's the shaky part right there. But
you don't want to know.
Yeah.
You don't want to know.
Yeah. Don't start telling the truth. The 100% truth of the past. Let's say that. Be honest in your relationship, but don't start digging up, pulling up old nonsense that doesn't need to be talked about. And you have let go.
That's the part.
You freed up from that can't bother you. That can't come back to haunt you and all that type of stuff. But we have to be, in order for the relationship to grow, you have to have some point of openness. So you got to be vulnerable to one another. Both of y'all can't be clammed up.
That's
right?
true. No.
Yeah.
I mean, because you can't have proper communication. You know, I'll never be able to kind of know him. Like, it's some things I know about Rob he doesn't have to say. You know, it's just I know. You know, some things, like if we're in a situation, he doesn't have to tell me I'm not feeling that. You know, it's just a connection that we have that I already know. Rob ain't feeling that. Let's leave. Let's go. Let me not do that. Or let me make the decision. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So if you're never in that place where you can free yourselves up together enough to do that, then, you know, that's kind of putting a hardship on your relationship. So vulnerability is very, very important. The trust is more important, because if you have trust, then you won't mind being vulnerable.
True.
Right? You know, and like examples of being vulnerable is when you can walk away and say that I was wrong about something. Be okay with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he said I offended him in some way, who am I to say that he wasn't offended? And I have to be okay with that. And then I can't be all in my feelings, you know, feeling like he's attacking me, or every time I say something to him, he just think that I'm always attacking him, and, you know, like go back into my corner in my own little chair and then kill it from there. You know what I'm saying? Like, once we walk away and I say, I'm sorry, I apologize, I did not mean it in that manner, I didn't mean to offend you, we have to let it go from there. You know what I'm saying? And then if being right is more important than the peace in your relationship, that's another rocky spot in your vulnerable place. Like, it's not that important for me to be right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's important that we have an understanding of whatever the situation is. I don't have to be right about it. It's just that you know how I'm feeling, and I know how you feeling about it, and that could be the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? That could be the end, period. Like, it's not about being right. It's just about a communication, because, again, we had talked about this before. He's coming from someplace different. I'm coming from someplace different. We may see it different, always.
Right.
But that doesn't mean we beefing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
That's just when you putting your guard down and you're allowing this situation and everybody to be able to have their own preferred whatever thought is about it, and then you come together and, you know, just, you know, communicate about it and be like, all right, well, this is how I feel, this is how you feel. Okay, that's interesting.
Right.
You know, that's an interesting fact. I didn't see it that way. You know what I mean? And so, you know, when you're vulnerable, you don't have to be right when you're allowing yourself to loosen up and be more vulnerable to your partner, to your family, to whoever your love person is. It don't really matter.
Right.
You know, but in a relationship where you trying to make it, this is trying to be something forever, yeah, you ain't gonna always be right. You don't have to be. And you gotta be okay in that.
True. Let's pause for a second. We're gonna be right back. We losing our light.
Yep.
All right, we back. We got a little light.
We back. Hey, we lost light, y'all. We have more light.
Yes.
So, back on the vulnerability, and understanding that it's not that important for you to be right. It's really not. Like, need to be one, and whatever the whatever the decision is. And oneness is whether I agree or I don't, we still stand together. You know what I'm saying? And that we communicated it to each other, and we both have an understanding of where each other came from.
Right.
That's the oneness part, right? And that vulnerability piece allows you to have that oneness, because I'm trusting that he cool with my thoughts and he listened to my, to the way I perceive it, and he can be comfortable that I accept and receive the way he perceived whatever the situation is.
Right, that's true. Because when you come into a relationship, excuse me, you come into a relationship, like I think we said it in the past videos. When you come in, you got two different people coming from two different households.
Right.
It could be different cultures. You grew up differently. You were raised differently. And so you coming in brand new. So it's like putting two strangers in the household together. You don't know how they live. You don't know how they, conduct things. People want you one way. You go outside, you're going out to dinner. You going out outside. But it's another way when you go into the house in a private spot. You know what I'm saying? Their safe zone, and you in that. And so now you got two individuals, coinciding together, coming together in one place. I got my ways I like it. You got your ways you like it, and
we gotta figure out how to put them two together.
So we won't butt heads. So you won't be in there arguing and fighting, and you have to be. You got to be. What's the word? You got to be open. You got to compromise. You got to be able to be like, you know what? You got to take the selfishness out of it.
Oh boy.
You got to take your selfish self out of it. Talking about this is the way I've been and this is what I'm going to be. No. Because now you with somebody else.
And it's not I anymore. It's we.
Right.
It's us.
Right.
It's plural.
Right. You got to think about the other person. You got to see, okay, do they like that? I don't, I used to throw my clothes on the floor. Can't do that now because they don't like that. You got to be respectful and mindful of that. It's something. It's a lot, but then it's not a lot. It's just, if you really want to be in that,
there you go.
You're going to be open to them things. If that's the relationship you want to be in, then you're going to be open to it, right?
Yeah. If it's something that you want of somebody that you love and you feel that this relationship is worth it, then you're going to do what you got to do. You do it for your job and you don't even really think that's worth it. You know what I'm saying? Besides the paycheck. You're like, I'm wasting my time here. This ain't even in my, this ain't even what I went to school for. You know what I'm saying? But you put your 110% there. So why not give your 110% in something that's for you?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Something that's going to benefit you. And that's your partner. That's your partner. And, when you do that, it builds a respect level. It builds respect between the two. We were coming together. We talked about this, the blended family and all that. So we had to get the kids together. We had to get our stuff together, and that's why I think we had mentioned in one of the other videos, like, you need to see your friend or whoever you're dating in every aspect, like seeing with their family, seeing with their friends, seeing them in the house, seeing when they out, so you can see all their different personalities. Once you come in and start living together, then you see another personality, because guess what? That's like the authentic person. That's the real person. You shouldn't have multiple personalities. You shouldn't. You really shouldn't. A lot of people do. You really shouldn't. Yeah. But listen, right. I was that one that had a whole nother face when I went with the family, because you just have to. Not anymore. Not anymore, though. I learned that face was what they wanted from me, and I did not want that face, so I don't have that face anymore. I'm gonna be who I be. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, this is why it's important for you to see all of that. He helped me recognize that, and that was a very vulnerable spot. That was a very vulnerable area in my life, because that's your family. You know what I'm saying? And family is one of the places that it can get real tender when you start picking and be like, listen, when you get around your cousins and them, you get a little shady. And I could have got my feelings about that, but the real bottom line is, yeah, I get shady
Mhm.
around my cousins
Mhm.
because dot 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 dot.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And so that was something that we kind of walked through, that I had to walk through, that I was in my feelings about initially, but I eventually got over it. Why? Because he stayed there with me to show me this is what happens. This is why, this is what I see from the outside looking in.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And he was vulnerable enough to even tap in that area, because a lot of people won't even do it. Like, you know what? This area, you know what? I ain't even got to deal with her no more, for real. Because her and her family is too much. I'm not getting in that, because some people be like, nope, don't deal with families.
Mhm.
Don't touch families. I
Mhm.
was watching the reel the other day, and I think somebody on there was like, when my husband getting it with his family, I don't get in it,
Mhm.
because I don't know the history of the family.
Mhm.
You ain't got to know the history. But he knew what was happening to me, who was coming home with him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's not fair. I felt like if it's a problem and he bring that problem home, we need to talk about that,
Because that
because
affects the
that's
household.
yeah, that's what I was getting to. That's jacking up what's going on at the house. You only with the family once during the holidays or whatever,
Mhm.
the few times, but we're together the majority of the time. And if this making me funky, and every time we do this, I come home and now I'm funky, that's a problem.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? But that was a real tight spot in me that I had to deal with. Um, and guess what? He couldn't really help me get through it. He just was there to say, listen, it's okay, but this is the situation, and you should look at it this way, and you should try doing this.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so, it was a respect thing. He respected me enough to come to me in a very passionate way, knowing that his family and knowing how I felt. You know what I mean? And then I respected him enough to listen, right? I still got my feelings, but I jumped out of them and said, let me look at myself now and figure this thing out.
Right.
And then he took the time to let me get through that and help me go through it. So, I mean, that was something really huge for us,
Yeah, because I saw
Mm-hmm.
how it was uncomfortable for you,
Mm-hmm.
and then I was uncomfortable,
Mm-hmm.
and so I was like, because me myself, I don't like to be fake.
Mm-hmm.
I like if I like you, I like you. If we
Mhm.
don't click, then okay, that's fine. Then we don't click. But I don't want to come around and be phony
Mm-hmm.
and I can't put on a fake face. That's just me.
Right.
So I didn't grow up like that. And I didn't see, coming from different households, I didn't grow up. If we don't talk, then okay, we don't talk then. You know what I mean? That's just it. And if because we have in my family, we don't have to talk for a whole year. We can come back and we ourselves, just like we never left each other. And we don't have to call each other every day. We don't have to put on the front or show, when we come around each other. That's my cousin, that's my brother, sister, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And we love on each other. When it's time to go, everybody respects one another's family. They know, okay, they have to go home to their family. They got to go to their family, and all that, vice versa. But then this was something different to see. Like when they come together, everybody's putting on this fake grin. I'm like, y'all don't really like each other, do you? And I was like, why do you keep putting yourself through so much pressure? Because I saw the build up, going through that, getting to that point, and going over the homes and for the special occasions, birthday parties, the holidays, things like that. I'm like, it's so much tension in the room, and that's so interesting with the vulnerability because I had to be open. You understand what I'm saying? To express that. You had to be open to receive it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like, and it didn't come off as a put down or something negative. We came and we spoke about it, and he was like, you know what, I'm tired of it. And it got to a point where, you know what, I have been being fake. I have been, you know what, I'm tired of putting on a fake because it's so stressful in this time. So.
Yeah.
But you were open to accept it and look at yourself, be like, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Then I had to be like, because at first, before I said it, I had to check myself. Am I coming at her sideways? And my family do this, and nobody's family is perfect.
Right.
None of that. I got issues with my family. Everybody has issues.
Yeah.
So I was like, am I coming too hard? Am I this? Let me check myself first, And I'm like, nah, because I don't want to be uncomfortable. It's tension. And because you shouldn't come from no family event stressed and tired. You come home.
And have to de-escalate. That's
tired from enjoying yourself, maybe you got to but but not stressed.
But from the stress of trying to keep a smile and act like you having a good time,
right?
That wears on you.
It does.
That wears on you. And listen, I never came for my people. I never came for my family. Mm-hmm. It was me. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? They were being who they be. Mm-hmm. That's nothing against them.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it was something about me that I wasn't being real to me. Mm-hmm. That's basically what it is. It wasn't them. Mm-hmm. It was me. I wasn't being real to me. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, I mean, that's a whole nother thing. Like when you just kind of mature and grow up and take a look in the mirror and kind of, you know, go through mm-hmm. paying attention to self, mm-hmm. you know, and that was like my self projection moment. Mm-hmm. And I was just looking at myself doing that entire time, trying to figure out me. Mm-hmm. And that was, you know, that was like a check in one of my boxes. And that was a tough little moment, but you know, and then it had to cross over to something else. Cause you know, when you start changing, then you got to have a conversation with the family. Like, okay, this is changing. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So that was a whole nother thing. But mm-hmm. listen, vulnerability is very important in a relationship. I don't care if it's a family member or a lover or a friend. Mm-hmm. You have to be able to trust them, right? You got to be able to feel like you're safe with them. Mm-hmm. And you have to be able to respect them as well as you respecting them, feeling safe with them. Mm-hmm. You know, and they feeling safe with you and respecting you as well.
True.
I mean, that's the bottom line with vulnerability.
That's
right?
True.
It's a tough thing. People don't even like to talk about it, mm-hmm. but it's a very serious thing when you have a relationship that you feel and deem is worth your time. Mm-hmm. That vulnerable thing is one of the first things you're going to have to deal with.
Right. Let that guard down. You got to let the guard down.
Yeah.
You can't bring old past relationships and hurts and pains
Please
into
don't.
this.
Please don't do that.
And say that person is going to do the same thing the last person did. Mm-hmm. I know that's hard for a lot of us.
It is.
But we have to be open if you want to be in a relationship or be with that individual. Or even in friendships, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to give that person a chance. Mm-hmm. You can't make the other person abuse that other person because of what you dealt with from the past.
Before, yeah, they had nothing to do with it.
You got to clear that up. You got to clear that up mm-hmm. with yourself first, and you can't go in there, like I said, beating up that person and saying, "Oh, there's a red flag. I see it already." No, you got to sit back. Mm-hmm. I mean, now don't get it twisted. You're not gonna go down that road, but there is red flags in relationships.
Yeah, that's a whole nother.
That's a whole nother. But you can't automatically, because they said a certain word or they went that way, that they're gonna do the same thing my last. That's what they all do. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's what all men do. That's what they do. They're gonna cheat on me. They're gonna do this. Da 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 da. I'm using that as an example.
Right.
And that's what all women gonna do. That's what women do, and this and that. No, each individual is different. So when you come in there, that's a brand new individual. Mm-hmm. That's not Peggy Sue from the last relationship.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's not the John boy from the last one. This is brand new. You got to be open to it, and you got to let that guard down a little bit. You got to mm-hmm. let it down if you want it to. If you want a relationship,
yeah.
If you want that relationship to grow,
mm-hmm.
let me say that. If you want to be closer and move and grow in that relationship
and stand through time, mm-hmm. yeah, because trust and vulnerability will last you through time. Mm-hmm. You know, time over time, season over season.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Is it?
Yeah. All right. That's it, y'all.
I know, because our light is fading and our focus is off, isn't it?
I know. But guess what?
Yeah.
We got the word out.
Right. I hope y'all can see it.
But it's so nice.
Yes,
So we didn't want to.
We
didn't want to go in.
We turned on our little party lights and see if that helped. I don't know if that made any difference. Thank y'all for joining.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yes,
don't
please.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Yes.
Please, we're trying to get our subscriptions up. It's already April.
Yes.
So we're trying to get to 70 by the end of April. Come on, y'all.
70. Let's do it.
Help us out.
Help us out. All right. All right, family.
HBO.
Yeah.
Help the black people.
Right. All right, family. Until next time.
Yeah. Peace.